The road to WrestleMania begins tonight at the Royal Rumble. Haney, are we excited?
Very. Yes, it's going to be awesome.
Very awesome stuff like that. I mean, this is I think is it 38th installment of the Royal Rumble?
Yep. What was it? And I watched the first 3 last night for some random reason. I just went, because they were quite quick, boom, boom, boom. And ironically, in March, I'm going to see the very first Royal Rumble winner. Do you know who that is?
No.
Oh!
Dude, you know what? Roll the intro.
Hello? Hi, can you hear us, Liam?
Oops, I think we've lost Haney. Stuff like that. A few connection issues. Haney, are you there?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I keep on getting muted for some strange reason.
Yeah, you were actually kind of like talking over the intro a little bit, so I was trying to mute it so it didn't actually sound a bit weird.
All right, okay.
Oh dear, but no, I can hear you, mate, fine. Personally, I know it's a few technical issues, but this is what happens when you're live, right?
Yep. I didn't even see the intro, so there was obviously something going on with my connection because I thought you were talking away. So there was obviously a delay in what you were saying coming through.
Yeah, if you listen to it back, you'll see what I mean. There's a bit of a delay, obviously, on your end, but it seems to be working fine now.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That's what we want.
I've got a question, though. Who the hell's Patchy the Pirate?
Patchy? Good afternoon from Patchy the Pirate. I have no idea.
Yeah. I have no idea. I've just seen it then from like, I don't know.
Yarr, I like pirates.
As you can see, obviously, Mr. Rise is obviously not here tonight. I think his daughter's obviously a little bit under the weather, so I think father duties come before anything, and let's be honest.
No, definitely, and there's nothing worse. I can remember being a kid and you falling ill at the weekend. There's nothing worse, because you look forward to it all week. So hopefully she's feeling better.
Absolutely. So rest up, obviously. Well, I'm going to say the little Isaacs for some reason. I don't know why I'm going to say that.
No, definitely. Hopefully, it's everywhere at the moment. Unfortunately, people just seem to be falling ill all the time. It's just annoying, frustrating.
Yeah, Tiffany says me because I was in ER for my eye this morning. Oh, feels well, Tiffany. Nothing too serious.
No. Yeah, hopefully nothing serious. I had a really bad eye infection about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like pink eye and had double vision, and it was horrible. It was like the worst sort of like 2 weeks ever because I could barely see.
Ouch. I bet you were off work for about a week then, probably.
No, I actually managed to, believe it or not, was it through that? But managed to, because I was part of a big project at the time. It was my first big project in my new job, so I didn't want to sort of like mess it up. So I was like close up to the screen, and I managed to deliver it. I couldn't believe it. I probably shouldn't have. It was probably a bad idea. Probably delayed it in the recovery, but I did it. So yeah.
Are you basically saying you're a big trooper?
I'm a bit of a trooper, yes. As men are, we suffer the most, really, in life with these colds. It's just we just got to trip through it and get on with it, and what was it? We get no sympathy.
Tiffany Trim says, I'm having a sense of humour about because it's causing light sensitivity, pain, and blurry vision. Oh no.
Sounds like what I had.
Depends, I suppose. Sorry, I'm making sure I don't interrupt because I know there's a bit of a lag on your end.
Is there a bit of a lag? Sorry, I do apologise.
There's sometimes that's why obviously there's a bit of obviously quietness, at the start.
Yeah, and it's not. There's something wrong because it's not like me to be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we know there's something wrong here. You're never quiet. You've been on this show for a good couple of years, mate, and I don't think you've ever been quiet.
I'll let you know I'm the quietest in my family.
Wait a minute. Shut up, really?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
My sister's the loudest.
Oh, God.
Yeah, she's just loud.
Dear Henny, how's your week been, mate? All right?
It's been all right. It's typical start of the year stuff. Work, taking over things. You don't get to do any sort of fun stuff like you want to do. So but it is what it is. So hopefully going into February and things like that, things will start to sort of settle down, and you get back into that normal rhythm at work. You probably know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think I had about a couple of weeks off over the Christmas period, so it did take me a couple of weeks trying to get back into that swing of things. Do you know what I mean? And to make it even more worse, like January for obviously this podcast has been absolutely crazy. Do you know what I mean? So many obviously interviews, which is great. Do you know what I mean? We spoke to some incredible people. I mean, even we had 2 this week.
Yeah, the one this week with Drew was fantastic.
Absolutely. Even though
If you haven't,
with Joseph Connors, that was an interesting one.
yeah, I mean, that was it. You're getting some of the names in the UK scene now, Liam. It's great to see. And hopefully going forward, there's what was it? You continue to get that sort of that pedigree of like UK talent on there, because we were sort of talking about it a little bit before we started. It's like, what was it? The really good ones don't stay long in the UK scene. They get picked up really quickly now.
Exactly.
It's There's some unfortunate ones in the UK scene that should be in places. I won't name names. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but they should be in the WWE or EW, but they just came a generation too early, for them to be picked up. They weren't really looking at the British talent scene too much, and they're phenomenal, but fortunately now that's not the case. What was
No.
it? But what was it, to our detriment as well? Because once these guys when they go through a round of picking these guys up, the UK scene gets ripped apart, because we lose all these amazing talent, But the good thing is we've got all these guys that are amazing trainers, and putting in the effort and helping these youngsters come through, probably to the detriment of what their dream was as well. It's probably feels great seeing somebody you've trained go off and achieve their dream on the big stages.
No, absolutely. And I mean, you mentioned obviously the Drew interview we did on Thursday and stuff like that. Now, that was obviously Drew's first interview, from a wrestling point of view. Do you know what I mean? And the thing was, and I do this with every interview, is once you get talking and stuff like that, you forget how long you've been talking for. Do you know what I mean? So we spoke obviously about her wrestling journey, everything she went behind the scenes and stuff like that. And before I know it, you've had a full blown hour conversation just about, everything.
That's it. When you tune into one of these sort of podcasts and you're watching it, the hour just goes past quickly as well. Obviously, for you, you're asking these questions, and you probably feel that it's going. You feel that the interview's going quick, and you're thinking to yourself, like, how much time have we spent? It feels like we've not spent much time. Then you go back and look at it, and it's like an hour and 10.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is obviously about this StreamYard, which is what we use, is it's got the timer at the top. So when you're
Yeah,
occasionally talking, you look up, you go, "Oh shit, we're actually on an hour! Wow!" But no,
yeah,
I mean, like I said, referring to obviously the Drew interview, one of my absolute favorite. Do you know what I mean? She was incredible. Do you know what I mean? Really polite, really obviously entertaining and stuff like that. And I will obviously thank you to the fan questions as well, because we've got quite a few. And there was a really interesting one which I thought was, is it better to have a good look or a good brand? And even I'm thinking, going, ooh, which one is it?
yeah. What was it? If you've got both, then you're winning.
Yeah, exactly, and stuff like that. And like I said, I mean, if people want to go check that out, it's on obviously the
Yeah,
YouTube channel.
it's interesting, isn't it? Certainly stuff like that's very interesting to sort of get from the wrestler perspective, because we look at it and we can sort of what was it, almost theorise how we would present ourselves, if we were in that sort of scenario. What was it? some, I suppose you would get different answers from different wrestlers, you know, and what they think is what they think about what you need to present and things like that. But I think ultimately your brand is the most important thing. Certainly, it's something it's been lost over the what was it, the 2000s, where you just had this sort of WWE and you didn't necessarily need to have that big brand, you know. And then as the 2010s came in, that was when, even though we knew these guys were there, what was it, they spent time focusing on their brands. The guys like AJ Styles and what was it, the Prince Divot's and what was it, the Young Bucks and things like that. As much as we may like or not like them, they spent a lot of time, what was it, building up that brand around what they are, you know. So um, the industry goes through lulls of not having it and having it. It's interesting, like everything in
Yeah,
wrestling.
absolutely. So I'll put that question obviously to people watching. Put it in your answer in the comments. Is it better to have a good look or a good brand when it comes to wrestling? Do you know what I mean? Comment obviously what you think, because it's a really interesting question. Do you know what I mean? And I probably will use that, you know, moving forward.
Yeah. If it's a diva if it's a women wrestler, I tend to have a good look.
Of course you would. Of course you would. Now, some obviously WWE news came out this week. I think there's two stars I actually remember. I've just thought one as we were talking. So, WWE 2K25, obviously the official post has been released. It's got the Undertaker on. What do we think?
Yeah. So there's actually three versions of it. There's the Roman Reigns Standard Edition, which you just get
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns doing this whole Superman pose thing, and then you've got the Bloodline Edition, which you get Roman Reigns and obviously all the guys from the Bloodline, and then you've got the sort of the Dead Man Edition. It's interesting because the Undertaker had a great sort of edition a few years back. I've actually got it. It was fantastic, you know. So it was interesting to see the Dead Man getting another sort of.
Which one was it? Was it 20?
Oh, I can't
Trying to...
remember. Time seems to go past so quickly. Let me just let. What was it? It's going to bug me now. I'll need to look that up. What version was
Yeah.
that? 2022.
Ah, yes, because 21 was the one we ordered, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I actually
You
got
know,
that game.
so yeah, yes, because 2020 was a bit of a disaster.
Yeah,
That was when.
it was.
What was it when yokes went there different and things like that? But yeah. So yeah, there's as usual. There's various packs. There's various what was it, DLCs? What was it? You've got the Bloodpound, the Bloodline edition, which has got what was it? Access to sort of like the Mattel characters for like Jey Uso and Roman Reigns. That's a pretty cool. I don't know if you've actually plays the action figures. It's pretty cool to see, you know. But was it? Unfortunately, there's only one or two of them in the game. I think the first year there was only one. I think it was only John Cena in the very first one. But I think this year there was like Hogan and Cody and things like that. So it's quite interesting to see the sort of action figure character.
Yeah. The one thing I'm interested to see is if this is going to be a TNA DLC. Do you know, with a partnership?
Yeah, no, definitely. That's what I was looking for. You know, hopefully there's not too much in terms of what's new. In terms of obviously they've brought back some of the like added some stuff into the sort of the universe mode, like the promo stuff and things like that. But I've not seen much in terms of new match types. There is a screenshot of the underground. It was a underground match where there's no ropes and people
Mm-hmm.
round about it. So I'm guessing that just. I'm guessing that's just like a lumberjack match with no ropes, you know, which we've
Yeah,
had
I remember
before.
that. I remember watching that obviously in WWE, and it was just terrible.
It was awful.
It
I think the
definitely was.
concept was there, but because of the PG era, they really couldn't do it, you know.
No, they couldn't. Who
It was
knows? I
like
mean,
yeah, it was like the Teletubbies version of what was it a Bloodsport, you know.
yeah, something like that, stuff like that. But I'm looking forward to obviously the game, because I haven't actually played a WWE game for a few years, so I'm actually curious to see what this one's
Oh,
going to be
you
like.
know, what was it? Last year's one was actually quite good. Um, but that added in like the ambulance match stuff and things like that, which was quite fun. But yeah, no, definitely. This one looks like a good one to pick up. If you've not played one for a few years, but was it this one looks like one to jump on because there's a lot of cool stuff in there.
I think the last one I played, I actually remember, is the one with Becky Lynch on the poster because that was just absolute terrible.
Yeah, that was 2020, wasn't it? That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show how long I haven't played WWE games. So I mean, it's not nothing personal. It's just obviously things take over like work and stuff like that. So I just don't really get time to.
Well, that game would be enough to put you off because it was an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
It was, that was like what was it? I think the story goes, Yokes and 2K sort of parted ways. Yokes, this they worked on WWE 2K19, which was a really good wrestling game. And in the process, 2K were working on 2020 without the sort of Yokes. Obviously, they owned the engine and things like that. But it was a complete misfire, and I think it was delayed. And then it was delayed, then it was cancelled, and eventually we got the we got the 2022 one. What was it with Undertaker, and what was it? And each year it's sort of steadily building on that. So hopefully this year will be really good.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. And the other news I remember is Triple H, Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I didn't think he would go in as quickly. I still don't know how I feel about that.
The weird thing is, I actually thought you were already in.
Well, he is with DX. That's why the Hall of Fame stuff's quite weird. You would think if you were going to put a guy in, you would, as a stable, you would make sure that they were in there in the first place, because really he's already in there. I think Ric Flair's in there like 3 times.
Probably. I'd have to have a look. I'm not actually quite sure, to be honest.
Yeah, it is interesting. It's quite interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Tiffany says I'm happy for Hunter. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, since he's obviously taken charge, obviously WWE is in a better place. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, what was it for all the sort of criticism in that he has, or during his wrestling career? I mean, people say he was people are like, what was it? Well, Hogan did this, or such and such didn't do that. What was it? Triple H. It's all about favoritism. Shawn never did it. But was it? There's very few wrestlers that are not selfish. Ric Flair definitely was one of them. Bret Hart certainly was one of them. He was selfish. He wanted to keep the belt. So what was it? It's what was it? It is sort of interesting to see where they'll go with it. But yeah. What was it? I wonder who's going to induct him. I'm guessing it's going to be Shawn, and they're probably going to bring out.
It's got to be on it. Let's be honest.
Yeah. It's not going to be Sable.
No, that's a different story altogether, mate. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right then, shall we get into obviously while we're actually here?
Yeah. What? Sorry, just a second. Was Sable that became his manager? Wasn't it at one point? I think he had the female. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm something else.
Way before my time, mate. I'll be honest with you.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
So,
right. Hemsley.
Right, should we get into the main event?
Yep.
Here we go.
The main event.
Boom. There we go. I love that little coin thing at the start.
Yes, it is. It's cool. Got to love the old arcades. Were the arcades before your time?
Yeah, there were arcades, yeah. I played arcades.
Yeah.
Can't beat. So, before we obviously get into the pre-show, we'll obviously do our little mid-session interval so we don't actually forget about that. Now, this is where we promote, obviously, shows up and down the UK, and there's some great, obviously, shows and stuff like that. So, little 90-second video, and I'll show you what to do.
Oh, it isn't time for going slow. Oh, the greatest flow to know is what's within. Is what's within. Is what's within. Oh, the fouler wind hath blown now, and onwards round all that we know. Great monsters hide inside halos, with jackals disguised down below.
And I've just thought on that 2 of those shows are actually happening right now.
Yeah.
So that was just really interesting. But yeah, obviously
And
there's
you had
shows up and
sorry, I was going to say some of the names are interesting as well. Like that last one is it was a Slamamia. You know.
yeah, that's a show in London which I want to go to. I managed to speak to the owners, you know what I mean? 2 incredible people. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if as we always do like to do on this show is promote obviously shows up and down the UK. So if fans want to go check those out, there's a link in the description for all the shows. Go check them out, do you know what I mean? Support them. And Haney, we say it all the time, support British
Yeah.
wrestling.
Yeah, no, definitely. And if you don't want to have, if you're a wrestling fan and you don't want to check them, have a word with yourself and get your ass to one of these shows. That's what I say.
You know the weird thing is, I've just seen the show Bulletproof, and 2 familiar people who you actually like, Casey Owens and Angel Hayes, is on that post, and I've only just realised.
Nice. And they're getting about. You know, it's great. You know, all these names and up and down the country. It's great to see them all in different shows when you start seeing them. And you get to sort of have a affection for their work. You know, at your local promotion, and you see, oh, they're working there, and they're working there, and they're working there. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, like I said, let's get into the show. In it's Royal Rumble weekend. You know what I mean? 2025. Are we excited for this year's? Let's be honest.
No, definitely. It's going to be. I'm always excited for the Rumble. Whether I'm excited at the end of it is another matter. But but always the Rumble. I always love the Rumble. I always get pissed off when I'm watching it because I'm always going like we've got 10 more to go, and then they bring out some sort of stupid sort of like person that they knock out in 10 seconds. I was like, oh, they could have given that spot to that person, you know. But always love the Royal Rumble. It's one of the best.
One thing I always like is for me is like returns. Who's going to show up? Do you know what I mean? Who's going to debut? And I think the thing is now, and a lot of people are talking about it online, is the thing with TNA is who do we expect to show up from TNA?
Yeah, exactly. You know, so I think that was it. Yeah, there's one guy that a lot of people believe in we all anticipate is going to show in. I'm not going to say his name because it might summon him and he might not be able to make the show. You know, so
We know he's going to be there. Let's be honest.
definitely. You know, definitely. Really cool. What was it? Hopefully, it's not like the NXT one where he was in and out.
No, but I remember the pop for that though. You got a massive pop.
Yeah, but that's the genius of Triple H and Shawn. You know, what was it? Doing that, it became a big talking point, and then obviously had the run, and then obviously had a couple of matches as well. You know, so sometimes you do stuff for a reason.
Yeah, it definitely is and stuff like that. So I'm just looking obviously for an article now because there's obviously going to be some talking points and stuff like that. Now let's let it load up. Give me a second. Right, so yeah, so according to Fox News, we've got 5 talking points. Obviously, what things going to happen tonight. So we'll go through these, and then we'll go through the match breakdowns. Does that sound all right, Annie?
That sounds good.
So the first it involves John Cena. It says we'll be welcomed back with open arms. We obviously know it's John Cena's last year, obviously in wrestling and stuff like that. But what do we expect, obviously, from John Cena? To be honest.
Well, yeah, I think without getting ahead of myself, I think that's the winner.
You reckon?
Yeah, but I really think, and I sort of said it, and you all laughed at me, but I think he's going to turn heel at some point this year. It would just be really cool. But yeah, I think unless they bring in somebody unexpected, I don't know, like what was it? I don't know who they could bring in. Yeah, what was it? It would be interesting to see. But yeah. I think he'll get a good reception, John. I think people. What was it? I mean, I saw about the heel thing, but yeah, he's on his like what was it? Victory lap now, isn't he? So it doesn't matter. It really does this year. Because he's done at the end of it, and I think he's the man of his word.
Yeah, absolutely. Where do you think he stands? You know what I mean, in like as a legacy as a whole, because he's done so many great things. You know what I mean, the charity thing just speaks for itself. Where do you think John Cena stacks up against some of the greats?
Oh, he's got to be right up there with them. You know, a lot of people put focus on when you look at wrestling. They go on about the technical wrestlers or things like that. But there's only a handful of people that really sort of stand out. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when push comes to shove, love him or hate him, Hulk Hogan, You know, what was it? He revolutionised or helped revolutionise wrestling twice. First in the WWF and then secondly in WCW. What was it called? So you've got that. You've got what was it? I think he's probably up. He's like John's what was it? Legacy's probably up there with Hogan's, to be honest. You know, in terms of what he's done and what he's achieved in the business, and what was it? How transformative it was. You know, what was it when he came in? What was it? He basically ran. He carried that. He carried that company on his back. You know what? After some unfortunate, it was sad and horrible things with like Eddie Guerrero passing away, and you know what was it? What was it? The horrors of what Chris did. What was it? Wrestling was really down, you know, and Cena, love him or hate him, really stood up and carried it on his shoulders. It said the whole sort of story around the sort of ruthless aggression thing that played out on television apparently happened backstage. Vince says he needed the guy. It was to stand up, and they all sat there like with their what was it, their arses on their hands, you know. And John was the one that stood up and says, "Give me a chance, and I'll do something for you," you know. And what was it? That's how we got that position, you know. So definitely one of the greatest, definitely one of the most important people in wrestling, along with like Hogan and Austin.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like I said, it defined an era, like I said, in wrestling and stuff like that. But going back to obviously what you said about the heel thing and stuff like that, not many wrestlers, when you think about it, have actually gone that route where they've never been healed. You know what I mean? Is that something really wants to like stick with? I'm just being obviously honest.
Yeah, you might want to have that bit of fun, you know. Um, with it, it's been sort of teased multiple times in the past. Um, hopefully, I mean, if it doesn't happen, I won't be disappointed. I think it's the way they should go with it. Because there's a lot of opportunity there. What was it? And for me, what was it? I mean, I'm playing this on the fact that I think he's going to win the Royal Rumble. Um, the fact that he's going to go in there, it's going to be difficult because yeah, you could turn Cody, and I think Cody's probably going to turn heel eventually. But do you really want it? I mean, the other thing you could do is have him face Cody at WrestleMania, and that's when Cody turns, you know, and cheats John out of it. But then, what was it? The clock's ticking because he's finished in December, you know, and what was it? We're all talking about like what was it? We're all talking about what was it? Where the sort of story can go. See, hypothetically, what was it? We get into April, May. What was it? Cody wins by becoming a heel. He needs he needs at least 3 or 4 months as a heel, you know, before he can drop that belt. What was it? And if we want to give John that last run, then what was it? There's that. Obviously, the other thing is he might not go after Cody. He might go after Gunther. But I think Gunther's probably what was it? Going to go in a different direction. I've got a bad feeling that what was it? That prick. What was it? Logan Paul is going to get Gunther's title. So yeah, we won't go there.
Yeah, well, we are actually going to have to go there because the second talking point for this is Logan Paul and Penta steal the show. As much as we
Yeah.
hate Logan Paul, let's be honest, do you know what I mean? The guy is taking wrestling pretty seriously, do you know what I mean? Works really hard, and I think he's proven a lot of people wrong, including me.
No, definitely, and some people have sort of spoken out about it, and I think that's what's so infuriating because he was so disliked before, but he's one of these guys that whatever he does, he's such an arsehole because he's good at everything he does. You know, he doesn't do anything like with mediocrity. You know, what was it? I love the way he interacts with people online in terms of the wrestling because he's just trolling them. I mean, I'm not a fan, but he definitely knows how to play the sort of community off itself. You know, what was it? Because he announced the whole thing he was retired, and then the next day he was what was it, doing stuff for the Netflix thing. You know, and everybody's like, "I thought you said you were retiring." You know, but that's what wrestlers do. He's really embraced it. which you can't take that away from him. You know.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And the interesting thing is obviously is Penta. Do you know what I mean? I mean, he's recently obviously showed up in WWE. We know what he can do. We've seen it in AEW and stuff like that. So Tiffany says Penta will be a banger in the Rumble. What do we expect from obviously when it comes to Penta?
Penta's an interesting one because yeah, I'll be interested to see that sort of style. What was it in the Royal Rumble? I know Ray's won the Royal Rumble, but what was it, if you go back and watch that match, it's not overly lucha, you know. What was it called? Obviously, there's things in there. What was it? Penta's been a wee bit more restrained since he's come to WWE in terms of doing the lucha stuff as well. I think we'll see some cool stuff. Hopefully, we'll see like a cool stunt there. Usually, you get one with like Kofi or something like that, but I think it'll come from. They've probably got something up their sleeve.
Yeah, we'll definitely see obviously on that one. The next one, obviously, and it's a few which is going to be a reignited, which is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. We obviously know Kevin's in obviously the match against Cody and stuff like that, but people think that this feud is going to reignite in some way.
Yeah, he can turn heel. Sami Zayn. He's on the shit list in this house now. What was it? If you ask Fiona, because he was wearing a Celtic top yesterday. So
Oh dear.
yes. So what was it? Yeah. The less we say about that man, the better. He's turned heel already, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Should we move on swiftly on that one then?
Yes, because it might get quite rude.
Okay. So the next one, and it's one thing we always like about the Royal Rumble, it's major returns and debuts. So we'll kick off obviously with the men's Royal Rumble and stuff like that. That's obviously the first one. Who do we think is going to return and who do we think is going to debut?
Return wise, geez, I hadn't even thought. I think Big E might return tonight and put out Kofi. Right? And what was it? What was it, Xavier?
Interesting.
Obviously leading into WrestleMania, because that's where that story needs to go to. You know,
Yep.
Who did they wrestle? What was it? When they get to WrestleMania, did they face Kofi? Did they face Xavier? Or did they face both of them? You know, but I think Big E will return tonight, and that's my big pick for a return.
Okay. What about the thing with Malachi? Because that's obviously heavily rumored as well.
Yeah, I think that's inevitable that he's going to return. Whether it's at the Rumble, I don't know, but you might be right. What was it? If it's how you sort of weigh up things, isn't it? And what you want to present and what you want the talking point to be.
Mm-hmm.
If Big E returns, I don't think you'll see any big debuts or re-debuts. I might be wrong, but I think if Big E returns, I would leave it as him as the big name to come into the Royal Rumble. But I do think what was it, Aleister Black's going to show up sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So I'm just reading.
What's your thought on it?
I mean, it's interesting because it's like I completely forgot that obviously Malachi. Well, I keep saying Malachi, but it's Alistair in WWE, in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he will show up tonight because like obviously Zelina is obviously in WWE and stuff like that. And at the moment, I hate to admit it, we're not talking obviously about AEW, but I can see a lot more people going, leaving AEW because it's just the product's not good, man. And I hate to say that.
Yeah, it does look that way. That a lot of people are sort of jumping back, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people jump on the whole big. Well, it's good to have and it is good to have two companies, and people having a good salary, but in the long run, it's going to be the detriment to the business, because eventually something's got to give. Either AEW's got to not be able to do it, or WWE's not going to be able to compete with these ridiculous wages, or ridiculous salaries. And we all know what happened in the 2000s,
Mm-hmm.
That was it. And I think, but was it more and more people now? But was it the sort of look at the WWE as a sort of big league more and more now, because you have got that other sort of company there to sort of look after and compare it against. It wasn't really sort of, is the WWE really a big league anymore? When TNA and things like that. But it's definitely got that feel to it, that sort of big fight company feel to it now, as opposed to what it was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's definitely an interesting, thing and stuff like that. Now, I'm just reading out this article and stuff like that. A couple of other names rumored to be back is Omos, AJ Styles, who's not been seen on TV for a while. I completely forgot about AJ. Do you know what I mean? Thing is, with AJ Styles, what's he got left to prove? Obviously in WWE.
nothing. I think AJ's done everything.
Mm-hmm.
It would be cool. It'd be cool if AJ came in the Rumble, and then the next guy was that TNA guy.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've read, TNA, AJ's quite soured on TNA, even though with the relationship, because of the way he was treated. So it's an interesting one. You might not want to do them that favour.
Yeah, exactly. So we
Yeah.
spoke a little bit about the men's one. Let's get obviously on to the women's one. So, rumored obviously to be showing up tonight is Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, Jordan Grace. Obviously, we know about now. She's done with TNA and stuff like that. But I feel like there's going to be more returns and more debuts in this one than these in the men's.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit thinner. I think we might see Victoria tonight as a sort of legend. There's rumoured to be Trish Stratus is kicking about it. I'm not really fussed about that one. But was it AJ Lee might be a big one, But was it Cora? Cora comes in, and then all of a sudden AJ Lee's music would hit. The place would go off. The place would explode if it happened,
Yeah.
Obviously Becky, Charlotte.
Yep.
What was it? Yeah, most definitely. You've got a few people on the sort of sitting in the backgrounds. Oscar's not been seen for a while, although a pretty scary story coming out this week around Oscar. What was it? Yeah, hopefully we get the. What was it? Somebody mentioned. I actually thought one of them was. Pregnant at the moment, but somebody says. Mentioned online Iconics. I absolutely love the Iconics. Iconic.
Yeah, that could be possible.
That could be what was it, possible. Yeah, so we'll have to just wait and see. But what was it? Yeah, I think there'll be more in terms of the sort of women. What was it, wrestling? I think we might see some TNA women over across as well. Maybe Gail Kim. Yeah. What was it? The Royal Rumble for the females was actually better than the men's last year, I thought.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. It definitely was. There was more, obviously, action and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was. You sort of knew what you were getting out of the men's one. But you sort of knew where it was going to go. This one, not so much. It'll be interesting. Most definitely. One
name, obviously, as well, who's been floating about for the women's side is Jade Cargill. Now, I remember an article coming out saying that they weren't happy about her. They weren't happy about Summit. That's why she got taken off TV and stuff like that. But yeah, she's obviously rumored to be coming back tonight as well.
Jade's an interesting one because she's a typical WWF wrestler. She's a superstar, but she doesn't really need to be good at anything, What was it? I think sometimes when wrestlers aren't, what was it? She's definitely green. But sometimes when wrestlers are looked upon that way, everybody picks up on every little nuance and daft thing, So I do think people are being a bit unfair with her online. But it'll be interesting to see. Definitely come out, and then obviously that could kick off the whole Bianca thing.
Yeah.
But was it? Because obviously either Bianchi or Naomi, both are involved in that sort of attack.
Yeah, I think there's more storyline job basis on that one.
Unless Rikishi did it for The Rock, but why would it be Jade? Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know. And the final, obviously, talking point, and this is what people's predictions are: is CM Punk and Charlotte Flair to win the Royal Rumble. So we'll start obviously with the CM Punk one. I personally think Punk is going to win it because I feel like he's been injured so long, and I feel like it's just like no one said destiny, but I feel like everything's pointing for him to win it.
Punk? I don't get that.
Why?
Because there's nothing there. There's no story there for Gunther or Cody at all. There's nothing there. What was it? Well, I suppose we're looking at because the last couple of years you sort of had the Roman stuff, but you could give him a wrestle. You could give him. But was it a WrestleMania main event without a Royal Rumble win? I think like a John Cena needs it more. That sounds strange, but I think to cement that, I think it needs to be like a John Cena that wins it. What was it? I mean, I could be wrong. I can't see Punk winning it, to be honest.
No.
I'm a bit of an overthinker, and I can't see where they would go in terms of that with the story.
That'd be interesting. Do you think that could actually happen? Rhea Ripley enters the men's Royal Rumble. We've seen it obviously before.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about that, but she's a women's champion. What would be the point? And it'd be a wasted spot. I don't like wasted spots. You know, if you didn't have a championship, I 100% agree with that. You know, but I don't even think she's. Has she got a match in the Royal Rumble? Is she wrestling anybody for the title?
I don't know.
I can't remember the card. When it comes to the Royal Rumble, I just think of the Royal Rumble.
No, these two more matches. Now, somebody said this, and another comment here says Punk should win it at Chamber instead. Do you think that'd be more plausible?
Yeah. Because there's no story. For me, there's no story there for Punk because his whole sort of what was it arc at the moment is Seth, Drew, you know. What was it? So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me for it when we go after the title. I might be wrong, you know. Some people thought Cody wasn't going to win last year and they won.
No, I actually knew straight away he was going to win it.
Yeah. It was blatantly obvious.
Yeah. What about the women's side? What about with Charlotte Flair? Do you know what I mean? I mean, I could think of so many people on the women's side.
Yeah. That's an interesting one. What was it? I don't think. Yeah. But was it Charlotte comes back? But was it who does she go and she wins? Who does she go after? Does she go after? I mean, she's going to go after Tiffy time, isn't she? She's not going to go after Rhea because she's had that. She's done that twice, you know. So if Charlotte wins it, which I suspect is going to be the case, then I probably think she would do. There's a story there for sort of Tiffy, you know. So who is the sort of real queen of the WWE? Because you could add in Nia in.
He has actually got a point there. They are actually technically advertising it to win.
Yeah, the WWE's got a habit of that, telling you. You know, I'm sure before the end of the Royal Rumble there'll be a poster telling where they're going to be.
Yeah, they always is, isn't there? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that's obviously the Royal Rumble. Now these are actually two more matches on the card, so there's 4 matches in total. Men's Rumble, Women's Rumble. And there's actually a tag match. There's also this match. Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for I don't know if it's a unification title match or what. I don't know really to expect this.
Yeah, it's a bit of a strange one because Kevin's not got a title.
No, I don't even know why these guys are facing each other, but I've got to be honest, I'm liking this new little style with Kevin Owens, you know, this like all new demeanor.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, you know, and I think Sammy's going to join that as well. I think Sammy's getting a wee bit of a twist to him again. I don't think Sammy works too well as a heel because he gets boring, you know. What was it? Unless he can do the comedy stick stuff. Even in the Bloodline, he was a comedy relief.
But he made it interesting. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it made it interesting. I'm not saying it wasn't. I thoroughly enjoyed that sort of stuff now. But what was it? As Kevin says, let's do this at WrestleMania. That's the only thing we haven't done.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was it? Can you see Cody losing the title?
I'll be honest with you. I know I can.
Yeah, exactly. Which, and I think here's my perspective on it. And again, this is me overthinking it. Is the men's Royal Rumbles going first tonight? I think.
I don't know. I think it'd be the women's.
No, I think it's going to be the men's.
Any particular reason why?
Charlotte.
Okay. Where are you going with this?
They're going to present that like the big thing.
I mean, I'm not against that idea.
Yeah, but I think the men's match will be first, and then you'll get. I might be wrong, and then you'll get. What was it, Kofi? No, not Kofi. What was it, Cody, and what was it, Kevin Owens?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see that tonight. But in the terms of this match, I mean, I've said it on previous shows. I really do think that Cody's title run has really been underwhelming. Let's be honest.
It's because the story ended. He finished the story. There was nothing for him to. As much as it's probably why he hated it as well. You know, I think in years to come, it probably will look back and say, well, it was a good run. But it's hard. It's hard. What you can't exactly throw him up against heel after heel after heel. You know, I mean, you know where this is probably going. Was it tonight? Orton's going to get involved somehow. And then eventually, what was it? Elimination Change going to be what was it? Cody versus Orton for the title, because obviously that's teased as well. And I'm sure they'll get that match before Cody's run comes to an end. Yeah, so it'll be very interesting to see where they go with it. But there's nothing there with it in terms of there's nothing there with it. He's a champion now. He's a company champion. He rolls out. He does the what was it? You know, does the what was it? The waving to the crowd and gets all the kids hyped and all that, so that they go and buy all the merchandise and things like that. That's what his role is. What was it called? He's a better heel than he is a babyface. Put it that way.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. Who do you see winning?
For the men's?
No, for this match here.
Oh, for Cody? Yeah. It's weird. I've got a little sort of, what was it, a little sort of feeling like Kevin might win tonight, but it's going to be It's going to be Cody. I can't see them taking the title off them. This into WrestleMania.
No, it's definitely yeah, yeah. Everyone's predicting Cody and stuff like that, so I think we're all in agreement on that.
Yeah, it makes no sense. It makes no sense.
No,
You've got to give Cody. You've got to give Cody that sort of the redemption of this whole arc is Cody wanted to hold the winged eagle belt. That was at the end of his match as champion, and one more last time. So yeah, that's what's going to happen, and then the belt's going to disappear.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. And there's obviously the tag match as well, which I was a bit surprised this is on the card. So it's a 2 out of 3 falls match, Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY, which I've got to be honest, I don't really like the tag division, obviously in WWE. I feel like it's an afterthought, but we know what Motor City Machine Guns like, great tag team and stuff like that. But I've got to be honest, this is the only match on the camera I'm like, I'm not really looking forward to.
Nah. What was it? I mean, I love the Motor City Machine Guns, but it's It doesn't excite me. I'm not fussed about this match. Probably go for a piss during it.
Is this the bathroom break match, as we call it?
Yes. Yeah. Definitely. And,
Yeah.
and if that's the only two matches that are in the event, then yeah, Rhea's probably going to appear in the men's Royal Rumble. You know, so
Yeah, I think we're agreeing. I mean, I don't know, man. Just this match overall, it's not. Do you know when you look at a card going, that match is going to go, that match is going to go, but just looking at the card, I'm like,
yeah,
this is the one which is not screaming at me. And makes it even worse is it's 2 out of 3 falls, so this match is going to go for a long time.
yeah. Unless you do quick falls, but yeah, you're looking at a 20-30 minute match.
Jesus Christ! But do you think this is going to be the
WWE,
Sorry, go ahead.
it's hard to get excited about tag team wrestling in any company for me because tag team wrestling's dead in my view in North American wrestling. Nobody's doing it right.
Yeah, I have to kind of agree. I mean, the UK tag team scene's really, really good and stuff like that, so I kind of disagree on that a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's hard. I just struggle with the whole tag team thing because I remember the sort of stories that they were told, you know, back in the day in tag team wrestling, and I just don't get that excitement from a wrestling match anymore, you know.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from there.
Especially now I know when the hot tag's coming. Especially now I know when the person's going to tag in and the person's not going to tag in.
Yeah, I think I get where you're coming from. That's kind of predictable.
They don't hold the rope anymore.
Yeah,
yes.
I know what you're on about. Yeah. He doesn't hold the rope.
Yeah.
He's still here, isn't he?
Wait. Are you there?
Yep, sorry, you kind of went a bit quiet again.
Sorry, I think my connection's going a bit debuggery today, so I do apologise.
That's fine. Like I said, this is what happens when we're live and stuff like that, so don't worry about it. So we'll run through the matches pretty quickly because we're nearly at an hour and stuff like that. Women's Royal Rumble winner?
Charlotte.
Okay. The tag match?
Motor City Machine Guns.
Men's match?
Men's match. Oh,
the Royal Rumble.
I nearly forgot. What about Eva Marie for the Women's Royal Rumble?
No, just no. If Eva Marie shows up on that, right, I will do a show, and I'm saying this live, by the way. If she shows up in this Women's Royal Rumble match, I will do a show with no shirt on. You heard that right? You heard that right, yeah? Watch her show up now.
Yeah. Okay. No Eva Marie. Okay.
I'm saying if she shows up now, I'll tell you something. And the thing is, I'm watching it, obviously, I'm going to be watching it live as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
So I'm going to be like that. But don't turn up.
Oh, no.
I'm going to get a message from you. Are you watching it live as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get a message from you going saying,
that was my impression of Del Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm scared now.
I distracted you.
I'm kind of scared now. I hope she does not turn up.
Yeah.
Please don't. I'm scared.
Yeah. So where are we?
So yeah, I mean, we've got 5 minutes left in for the hour mark. Is there anything you want to discuss which we've not discussed?
I'm just trying to think of the Royal Rumble. So obviously you've got everything that's happened at the Royal Rumble. But was it one of the cool things that's happened with me in a few weeks is I'm going to see a Q&A to see the very first Royal Rumble winner.
Oh.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Wait, I've got it. Wait, I've got something. You could play this one as you walk in. I'm gonna find it. You could play this.
Ah, look, you're here.
Yay!
Dear. You never really get that anymore
I mean,
because
you
you're
could
always
just-
on the show
you
from
could
the
have been-
start now.
You know, yeah.
You never really actually get that.
I mean, I could do the whole like. I know it's usually when Jeremy's here, isn't it? Anyway, you know, it's a bit harder when there's nobody there, and you can just go, "Yeah, I'm presenting myself," and this idiot Alex appearing, and then I come on and go, "Let's go!"
Let's go. Oh dear, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited because it's. If I remember rightly, this is the first one they're streaming to Netflix of the year, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, there's no issues. I don't think they had any issues with the raw stuff, so I think they've sort of thinged that out. But definitely, I'm looking forward to it. What was it? And I really like the way the WWE shows are now, where you know you're not going to get like have to sit down for 5 hours to get to the Royal Rumble match. You know, everything's done in 3 and a bit hours now, which I absolutely love, because I'm getting old, and but was it you know, I can't be staying up till 5 o'clock anymore without having to take a week off work to recover.
This is. I used to do this like when I was younger, you know, watching the pay-per-views live.
Right, here's one for you. Who's your favourite Royal Rumble winner?
What was my favourite Royal Rumble winner? Probably The Undertaker, because I always remember the thing with Carly.
Yeah.
That was probably, yeah, because I always remember like where...
Maven, not...
What?
Did you say?
You kind of went ski whiff again.
What a disaster.
Right, yeah. So, no, yeah, the thing with Maven, I thought that was interesting, but now my actual favourite winner was... Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, it's just like, anyway, we're nearly at an hour, mate, so don't worry. We're nearly there. We're nearly there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, as in terms, obviously, of why I like The Undertaker, I always remember like Carly just destroying everybody. And I always remember the commenters saying, "Who can stop Carly? Absolutely nobody." And I just remember Undertaker going out.
Yeah. That was that you've just reminded me. That was what was cool with Drew's. When Drew won, what was it came out with Brock Lesnar. Everybody get pissed off because Brock Lesnar had knocked out like the first 15 wrestlers in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
There was a few. What's the worst Royal Rumble?
Oh, that probably. Oh, geez, that's a good question. I've never even thought of that before. The worst Royal Rumble. That's a good question.
I've got mine straight away, but I need to remember what year it was.
I'm trying to think. What would I say was the worst Royal Rumble? Give yours first.
I need to find the year. Bear with us. 2022.
2022. That was
Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar. You just don't like Brock Lesnar.
No, it was the fact I didn't feel like he needed it at the time.
But he never needs it. That's the whole point of Brock Lesnar. It's the same when they broke the streak. Probably 2014 when Batista won it. You know, because we had the whole sort of Daniel Bryan thing. What was it? You know, what was it? And basically people just booed the place out. I think that was the last.
Well, according to this online, it's not actually the worst voted.
What is it? Worst voted?
Vince,
and that's 99, isn't it?
It is.
With Austin, but that one's it's difficult. I mean, why do you define the worst? Are people defining it the worst because it's Vince McMahon? Because it really, because as much as it was like not the greatest Royal Rumble, it made sense for the story. That was the one where Road Dogg just hugged the post, wasn't it, for the whole match?
Yes, yes, it was.
know?
Dear. But one thing we do know, Haney, it's going to be a good show.
It is. It's going to be a great show.
And
hopefully,
like I said, I'll be watching it live, obviously, when it's on. So you can probably message me away with some stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just go hell for leather with it.
yeah, definitely. I'll definitely do that. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. I'm always a big fan of the Royal Rumble.
Yep. And like I said, this is going to be the first one I've watched live in a while because I used to watch them mostly when I was younger and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited and stuff like that. So that's obviously today's show. Haney, I know we've had obviously connection issues and stuff like that, but you've had a blast always, right?
Yep, I do apologise about that. I don't know what's going on with my connection at the moment. I'll need to go and see if something's going wrong with the hub. But
It's
I do
fine. Like I said,
apologise.
this is, as we always say, this is what happens when you're live and stuff like that. But we've had a good blast. So if people obviously want to follow the show, all links are obviously in the description of the video. Go support the show and stuff like that. We're trying obviously to get as obviously a bit high as we can. We obviously started the new channel in January and stuff like that. Some incredible interviews, some incredible shows and stuff like that. Got some great interviews coming up, like obviously NCW was obviously coming up next week. We've got Hitting the Turnbuckle obviously then. And then, of course, we've got show for 3 with 3 referees. We've got loads of stuff lined up in here, let's be honest.
Yep, loads and loads. If you, what was it? Yeah, super excited about all the stuff that's coming this year. Can't wait to see how it all goes.
Exactly. So,
Talking to some
Annie,
fantastic talent as well. So,
yeah. Like I said, some incredible talent, some incredible people in pipeline. And I'm always on the lookout, you know, for people who obviously I've not spoken to and stuff like that. So it's just in terms of wrestling.
yeah, I mean, there's so much of it. You know, you could have a show every day now with wrestling if you really wanted to. There's so many like shows going on worldwide. What was it? It's great. The internet gets opened up a lot of good sort of promotions, and all I'll say is just because they're not on TV doesn't mean they're not any good. You know, what was it? There's some amazing promotions and some amazing talent out there. So if you're on the fence for something to do and you're a wrestling fan, start YouTubing and Googling. You know, just Google a country, just Google Australia and find out what wrestlers are in Australia and then follow the path of some of the wrestlers. You'll be amazed what you find, you know?
Exactly. And that is a great thing to end on, Annie. Thanks for being part of the show, man.
I was